Oh man, this is gonna be fun. Our next guest is my mommy's best friend since as long as I can remember. Please put your hands together for Trudy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Trudy. Trudy has known me as long as I can remember. I think you mentioned...
I think you were 2 when I met you.
2?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to tell your favorite story about me?
Oh, really? You were about 4 then.
I was younger.
3. So, and not well dressed.
Not much has changed.
Well, no, I think a lot has changed because he's like totally covered. And it was summertime in Davis, and he was wearing, I think, a diaper and a shirt.
Well, he's kind of wearing that now. You just don't see it.
Right.
And we were driving Susie's van. We were in the parking lot of the neighborhood grocery store, and there's Conor. He's walking around in his diaper and his t-shirt.
Cruising.
Just cruising, chilling. And we said, well, why don't you get in the car and we'll take you home. And so he did that, and we took him home. And then Susie came home a few hours later after work, and we told her what happened. And apparently his babysitter had a house that backed up to the grocery store parking lot, and she had a fence around it, but somehow or other Conor escaped. And
You can't hold me!
And we found him, and he knew us, and he came with us. I mean, I don't think he would have gone with anybody.
No.
No, you were a very
You
good
got
little
candy?
kid.
You got a van? Huh? Puppy, maybe?
But, so you came with us, and Susie called up the babysitter and said she wanted to talk to Conor, knowing full well he was next to her. She just wanted to panic the babysitter, and I think justifiably. And
I've been gone for hours at this point.
and the babysitter looked in the backyard and said, oh my God, Susie, he's gone. And Susie said, well, believe it or not, he's with me right now. Trudy and Mo picked him up at the parking lot.
Did you fire the babysitter? No, you couldn't afford it. No, you watch him tomorrow. It's fine. Okay, Trudy, where are you from?
I was born in the Bronx. And
The Bronx.
The Bronx.
The actual Bronx.
The actual Bronx, in Bronx Hospital.
Really?
Yeah.
What year?
Well, exactly March 23rd, 1943.
43. So what was the Bronx like in the early 40s and 50s?
Beats me. I was a baby.
But I mean after that, when you were older?
Well, I got back to the Bronx when I was, I think, 16.
Okay, where were you between?
I was in New Jersey, and then we moved to Florida because my family bought a bowling alley, which was just a nice thing for women to do in those days.
What do you want to do this weekend? Let's buy a bowling alley in Florida?
Yeah, that's what my family did.
Okay, so now you're in Florida.
So now we're in Florida. I went to high school in Florida for 2 years. I hated it.
Now you said they weren't always friendly to Jewish people in Florida.
No, they weren't. They were worse to black people, but they were not friendly to Jewish people in some parts of Florida then. It was 1956, I think, before the entire Bronx moved to Florida, and then they tolerated us.
So when the whole Bronx was there, it was fine.
Right, and there were actually areas which were considered restricted, and restricted was the buzzword for no Jews allowed. And Boca Raton, which is now known amongst the Jewish community as Boca Jew, was also restricted.
So you took over, huh?
Yeah, we took over.
Get 'em, bastards!
But,
Tell us we can't come here.
But I mean,
right?
there were no black children in my school. I'd come from a school in New Jersey where there were 2 Jewish families in the town I lived in, but nobody cared.
Right.
And there was one black family that had lived in the town forever, and nobody cared. I moved to Florida, and it was bizarre.
Yeah.
I graduated high school in 1960.
Okay, so
I must
60-something.
have moved back to the Bronx in 1959. In those days, it felt to me like we're not very Jewish, as you know.
No.
We're actually non-practicing Orthodox atheists who say we're Jewish.
That's a large group.
I know. It
Well,
really is.
you'd be surprised how many Jews feel that way.
Yeah.
But-
and only Jews could be atheists and Jews at the same
Well,
time.
I mean, it's a social thing.
Right.
too.
No, I get it. I'm just saying.
Right.
No one else can do that.
No,
Because you're the
so-
chosen people. You can do that.
Well,
So do you like eat pork and just go
Yeah.
Well, I eat whatever I feel like eating, and I don't eat much lately.
Okay, so was there a period where you went off to Europe, Paris, or anything like
Yes,
that?
I was 18, and I had an uncle who had been in World War II, and he was on the beach at D-Day in World War II.
Was he sent there, or was he just happened to be walking by?
No, he didn't walk
on
by.
D-Day?
He
He's
did
like,
not
what the
walk
hell
by.
is going on here? This is crazy.
So anyway, my uncle used to throw a party for his war buddies, and I was about 17, and I went to the party with my mom and met his war buddies, and he said, I want you to go to Europe. And I said to him, sure, you pay for it, I'll go. And he said, I'll do it. And he did it. And so he paid for my round-trip boat trip. And I went.
Boat?
A boat. There were no jet planes in the U.S. Commercial fleet in 1961 when I left.
To fly you there?
There was
take
no.
a boat?
You could fly, but it would flap the wings.
Oh,
you know?
really?
and so the boat was a sensible way to go because it was safer. Right. It took 5 days to cross the Atlantic Ocean.
Really?
Yes. And there was a small French line boat, Le Flandre.
Le flan.
Flandre.
Le flan.
Flandre.
Flan.
You have to get the right. Exactly. Exactly.
So just
Well,
pull on that.
I still speak French reasonably
I
well.
bet you do. And
never
your
gotten
son
over
married
it.
a French girl.
My son did marry a French girl, and we have 2 bilingual grandchildren.
Yes, you do, and they're hilarious. When they were
They
really
are.
little, they would speak to you in French and English and not understand why you didn't know what they were doing. And they'd come up to it and be like, do you want that? And we're like, what? So we haven't heard what you do for a living. What do you do for a living?
At the moment, I own not the moment, for the last 30 years, I've owned a small bakery.
But at the moment, too.
At the moment also, I own a small bakery in Davis, and I sell at farmers markets.
Shane ate a whole loaf of challah bread on the way home one day.
That's not hard.
No, it's not.
I know. We make challah in plain poppy sesame raisin and chocolate chip.
The chocolate
And
chip
the
is
chocolate
pretty awesome.
chip it's Ghirardelli chocolate, so we're really trying to hook you.
Yeah, Shane
And-
killed
right.
a whole loaf.
And
in the
then
back of the car.
we also make a new one called jalapeno, which is also very popular for obvious reasons.
Right.
And Mo and I put away a chocolate challah in front of the television the other night, and we said, "Holy shit, we just ate a chocolate."
Where did that go? So I know when you didn't necessarily know you were going to be a bread maker,
No.
you would plan to maybe be an actress. Right. What actors were you into at the time that made you want to be?
Well,
is
I
early.
was a Broadway baby.
Okay,
My
so you could
parents
go see
started
Broadway
taking me
shows
to
and
Broadway
stuff.
shows when I was 6 years old because it was cheaper than a babysitter. I remember the lights and the sense of being there, and the tension in the audience, and how people reacted to it, and it was magic.
Yeah.
And I probably saw every musical on Broadway from, I was 6 in 1948. 43? No, I was 6 in 49. I didn't finish the Hunter College story.
No,
which I
we're
will
weaving
get-
them all. She's like a jam band.
Right.
You know, she tells
Well,
the story
you know,
here and then
you
here
live,
and it
you
leads
live
back.
long enough and you have lots of stories.
Yes.
So my husband and I met when we were 17 on a TV show before there was PBS.
Wait, a TV show?
A TV show.
And what was the show for?
It was called American Musical Theater, getting back to the theater.
Ah.
And we were both musical and theater buffs. And
I have
this
seen
was,
Mo break into song many a time.
Well,
Mo
Mo
loves to
actually,
break into
you want to
song.
hear Mo's claim to fame?
Yes.
I'm going to tell this whole audience, and he gets embarrassed, so close your ears, Mo. He sang with the Metropolitan Opera when he was a little boy.
Really? I did not know that, Maurice. Very nice. He did raise one
He
eyebrow.
was in the children's chorus of the Metropolitan Opera, which in those days was only boys. But he had to give it up when he turned 13 because he went from a boy soprano to a boy bass.
Oh. So you guys are on this TV show.
So we were on this TV show. We were 17, and we got to be close friends. And 4 years later, we got married.
4 years later?
Yeah, after I spent a year in Paris, and he got hit by a truck.
Okay, wait, what?
He got hit by a truck.
So you're in Paris,
I'm
he
in
gets hit
Paris.
by a truck,
Right.
but you don't have cell phones back then.
We don't, $9 a minute, which was big money in those days, to call.
So you couldn't call.
Couldn't call. I get a letter, a month or two after he gets out of his coma, and and he said, "I haven't written because I was in a coma."
And you're all mad. This better be good. That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
You were probably thinking that's no way to treat a trophy girl, right?
Right, exactly.
So he came to Hunter College in the Bronx, where I was, with 2 tokens that they had paid him with, 2 subway tokens. They pay your transportation. And he gave them to me, and that was my engagement present. He said, "These are the tokens of my affection. We need to get married." And so we did.
50-year marriage based on 2 tokens from the subway. You want to give it a shot? All right. Okay, time period.
Yes. Well, since I like Northern Renaissance painting, I might like to try the 15th century.
Go back and check that out.
Yes.
Wear those tight dresses and
Well,
put your head up in a bun and don't shower for a month.
Well, I think that I would like to be a princess then.
Oh, that would be a good idea. I mean, if
And
you're going to be back there.
not the traditional Jewish princess.
No, not a Jewish princess. Ladies and gentlemen, Trudy.